So your grid lineup is as follows, and it was a very close one at the front of the field. It was Olivier Jonkers in the number 16 that pipped Dries van Langendonk in the number 15, who lines up alongside by a mere 5/1000ths of a second. Behind them on row 2 will be the number 9 of Thomas Strauven and the number 40 of Kasper Schormans. Matej Radenkovic in the number 99 and Mika van der Pavert in the number 86 will be on row number 3. Behind them will be the championship leader, the number 54 of Tommy van der Stroys, with Karel Stout in the number 3 alongside for company. Tom van Langendonk will complete the first nine of 11 positions. Alongside will be Holland's Max Sederski, the number 19, with Mick Vandenberg in the number 29. Rounding out the 11-strong grid. As with Rotax Racing sporting regulations, it will be a sighting and then a formation lap. So, 10 minutes are on the clock, plus 1 additional lap here at Karting des Fagnes in Mariembourg in southeast Belgium, not too far from Liège. So, the top 3 rows will be comprised of Olivier Jonkers and Dries van Langendonk on the front row. Thomas Strauven and Kasper Schormans on row 2 with Matej Radenkovic and Mika van der Pavert on row number 3. So, drivers now being told to slow down and quickly get into formation. Looks like we've got Tom van Langendonk, Sederski and Vandenberg just getting a little bit behind. Well, it looks like the last of our 11 strong are now into formation. So, for those watching on at home, pole position will be on the left-hand side, and it will be in the form of the number 16 of GKS Lemons Power's very own Olivier Jonkers, with Dries van Langendonk alongside for company. It's a GKS front row as we go into battle. Do we go lights out this time? Yes, we do, and it seems to be getting very, very feisty going into turn 1. As, oh, there's been contact. Oh, no, that was very close indeed. We've had one spinning to the outside of turn 1, coming together with one of the GKS drivers, I believe. Now, could that have been... That's not... oh, well, that's the real development. Could that have been Dries van Langendonk that was involved there? So one of the drivers got away, and that was Olivier Jonkers. The drama already. So we have yellow flags on the outside of turn number 1 here in the first of 2 races here for Micromax. This one's 10 minutes plus an additional lap. The next one will be 13 minutes plus an additional lap after the customary lunch break. But making a getaway very early on due to dramas on the very first corner indeed. So leaders coming through to complete lap number 1, and leading quite comfortably at the moment is Olivier Jonkers. In second position, it is now the number 9 of Thomas Strauven, with Mika van der Pavert in the number 86 in third position. Great battle for 4th at the minute as Tommy van der Stroys is trying to get the hustle on and trying to get past Kasper Schormans and throws it up the inside quite cleanly there. So nice work by the 54, up from 7th into 4th position now as the field goes through turn number 4. So it was Max Sederski that was the other casualty, unfortunately, in that mix. So Sederski still, I think, is circulating. Oh, there's been more drama. Now, hang on a minute. Was that the leader? Is that Olivier Jonkers that has now been eliminated? That could very well be the case. So this is going to be an all-out battle now between Thomas Strauven and Mika van der Pavert for the lead of this race. And they are being chased now. No, Strauven is leading the race. Van der Pavert is in second. And they are line astern. Behind them, it's Kasper Schormans. Tommy van der Stroys is trying to make inroads to keep his perfect record intact thus far. So, already we've had... so, Dries van Langendonk is out. That's a real shame for the second place starter And at the back part of the field, well, I'm just seeing that Matej Radenkovic and Karel Stout. Now, hang on. Now, Matej Radenkovic looks to be out of position. Radenkovic was in. So, Yonkers is still circulating in 9th place at the moment. So, drama already, and we haven't even completed. That was after the just after the very first corner. Meanwhile, Van der Pavert is really sizing up Strauven for the lead, and coming along with them for the ride is Casper Schormans. Van der Pavert goes up the inside of Strauven into turn 1, and Strauven shuts the door firmly in the direction of Schormans, but Schormans goes back on the offensive up the inside of the number 9, going through turn number 2. What a great move from him there. But whilst the trio are battling, Van der Stroys is going to try and close the gap. Behind them, you've got Tom Vangelangendonk and Matej Radenkovic. They round out the top 6. Mick Vandenberg up into 7th. Karel Stout is in 8th place. As Olivier Yonkers still getting in, I think, what is going to be some very valuable seat time, as will Max Swiderski. So Dries Vangelangendonk confirmed as retired after that first turn clash around about 4 minutes ago. But the three-way scrap at the front of the field has shown no signs of abating yet. So it is Van der Pavert leading from Schormans. Schormans got the real slingshot coming through there. And Van der Pavert lost out 2 positions going into turn 1. So both Schormans and Strauven got past the number 86. So Schormans had already taken the lead going down the start-finish straight. So Van der Pavert really on the back bumper of Strauven going into turn number 4 for 2nd position. But the gap back to Tommy van der Stroys was 8/10. That is clearly not that far anymore. It's going to be not even a 1/10.5 probably by my reckoning. Van der Stroys really has got the move on here, has got the hurry up, and has decided, right, these 3 are battling in front of me. I need to get past the 2 in front and then go after Casper Schormans. So at the minute, it's going to get very, very interesting indeed, because if Tommy van der Stroys latches on to the back bumper of Mico van der Pavert in the 86, who's currently in 3rd, who really got a great toe going into turn 1 behind Thomas Strauven, heading into turn 1 there. Van der Pavert is looking very, very racy indeed. But Van der Stroys' gap, he actually chopped into that by about 0.3 of a second at the 54. So we have about just under 4.5 minutes plus an additional lap to go. Casper Schormans in the number 40 from the Netherlands continues to lead this first of 4 Micromax races this weekend. In 2nd position from GKS Lemons Power, it's the number 9 of Thomas Strauven. Then it's Mico van der Pavert in the 86. And then number 54, Tommy van der Stroys. So they are all separated by just over 1 second at this particular moment. But Schormans is definitely keeping away from the 2 battling for 2nd and 3rd. Van der Pavert is about a cart length behind Strauven at the minute. Gets into the toe coming down the start-finish straight. And would be very, very brave and brazen indeed, trying to go up the inside of Thomas Strauven, because he would have had to have come from a long way back and outbraked the number 9 going into turn 1. So running order at the moment, unfortunately, Dries Vangelangendonk is still sitting at marshal post number 2. So hopefully Dries will come fighting back in the 2nd race of the day a little bit later on, which is at about 1:30 local time. So Schormans leads from Strauven, Van der Pavert, Van der Stroys dropping a little bit further back is the number 54. He's about 7/10 off of Van der Pavert, who's currently in 3rd position. The battle between Matej Radenkovic and Tom Vangelangendonk, I think, might have now been settled, as Radenkovic now in 5th place in the number 99. And it's a further 8 seconds back to Mick Vandenberg in the number 29 in 7th position. But Strauven really coming under fire now from Van der Pavert for that 2nd place, going through the 2nd turn there. Now into another hairpin at turn 3. Now it's into the left-hander at turn number 4. And Strauven really coming under fire now. Van der Pavert has just really got to bide time and wait for that opportunity to strike. But in the meantime, if Strauven has actually signalled to Van der Pavert, I don't think that's been the case, because Strauven has got his hands absolutely full of the number 86, trying to fend off the advances to stop the number 86 of Mika van der Pavert to take that second place. 1 minute and 50 plus an additional lap to go. Casper Schormans in the 40 continues to lead, but what is the gap going to be between him and Thomas Strauven and then Mika van der Pavert? Top 3 separated by less than 4/10. This is getting really, really interesting now at the front. So Schormans is not running away with it. Got the initial advantage, but Strauven has started to fight back and respond to Van der Pavert's advances. As Van der Pavert was trying to go for second, it looks like Tommy van der Stroys might have just consigned himself to stick in 4th. That still will be a fairly good points haul, around about 13 points. But there has... Oh, that's really changed things. New message from timekeeping. 5-second penalty for pushing to Mika van der Pavert. And that is going to drop him, Mika, down to, by my reckoning, around about 5th or 6th position. So that puts Van der Pavert out of this battle for the lead. So it's now going to be game on between Casper Schormans and Thomas Strauven. And that was for pushing. So they do say that karting is a non-contact sport. And Van der Pavert was started in 6th place. But Schormans still resolute in hanging on to 1st. Strauven in 2nd. Even with that 5-second time penalty, Mika van der Pavert will be dropping back down the order to around about 5th place, because the gap, if Van der Pavert gets another 10th or so up on Matej Radenkovic, Van der Pavert will actually finish in 4th behind Tommy van der Stroys on aggregate. So, last lap board is out for this first race of the weekend here. And Schormans leads. Strauven in 2nd position. So, final lap it is. One more lap to go. Just over around about 1,100 meters for the top 3 to negotiate here at Mariembourg. So the way that things are going, if Mika van der Pavert keeps up this pace, the 86 will still finish in 4th place ahead of Matej Radenkovic, as Radenkovic hasn't really been able to get a bit more pace in that kart. As the leaders now come through towards the final few corners here at Karting d'Espagne to conclude the first of 20 races here this weekend in Mariembourg. So, corners away, and I don't think it's going to be enough for Thomas Strauven to usurp the winner, and it's going to be a first win of the season for Casper Schormans and the number 40 here in Micromax by 0.278. You know what was funny about that? You know when they say don't celebrate too early? I think Casper Schormans knew he had it in the bag, but Strauven, I think, had that killer instinct in saying, I'm going to go for it. And try as he might, but Casper Schormans breaks the perfect record for Tommy van der Stroys. So 2 different winners from 5 races this season. Casper Schormans takes 25 points, with Thomas Strauven taking 20 for securing 2nd position. Tommy van der Stroys will get 16 points, putting him on 116 after this race to finish in 3rd, following the pushing 5-second time penalty handed out to Mika van der Pavert from the Netherlands in the 86, who finishes in 4th, ahead of Matej Radenkovic in the 99. Tom van Langendonk in the 26 finishes in 6th, ahead of Mick Vandenberg. Karel Stout in the number 3, Olivier Jonkers in the number 16, and Max Sadurski rounds out the 10 finishers with Dries van Langendonk, unfortunately a casualty after the very first turn here. But Casper Schurman, news breaking out of Mariembourg, Casper Schurmans takes his first win of the season here in Mariembourg, as the recovery vehicle now goes out to assist with the recovery of Dries van Langendonk and his cart. So we'll hopefully see Dries a little bit later on in the second final, which will take place for Micromax at around about 1:30 this afternoon.